What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to cover how to run with your running back in Retro Bowl. So this is a Retro Bowl, how to run with your running back tutorial, where basically what I'm going to do is give you an inside view on how to strafe, how to dive, how to maneuver just using your running back. We're literally going to focus entirely on the running back. Not one single play will go to any other player through this entire game. And we'll focus on a couple different ways to run, some tips and tricks, how to look at your offensive line and see where the blocks are opening up, read the defense, a lot of interesting things specific to running with your running back. So without further ado, this week in this game, specifically dropping into the middle of a season where my quarterback actually went down with injury, and therefore it's a perfect time to focus on the running back anyhow. So we're just gonna ground and pound. We're gonna run the ball all game long, and we're gonna look at different ways to go ahead and get the most out of our running back. All right. So without further ado, I'm gonna come on in here, and we are squaring off against Washington. Like I said, I'm just focusing not on anything to do with the roster, the season, just how to run with your running back. All right, so we've got the ball here, and clearly this is a custom team. I've altered it, team names and colors and whatnot. But here's the principle. I have a running back who has been a really good running back. He's I think last season at 1,000 yards, over 1,000 yards, and so he's a really solid running back. Has high speed, high strength, decent amount of catch, and decent amount of stamina. Those are the attributes that I definitely look for, is speed and strength, number one, and number two. All right, so we're gonna run all game long. I'm looking at pre-snap read here on the defense, and I'm not seeing that they are lining up showing blitz. So I want to basically counter this by getting to the outside in the rush. Get up here. I always just strafe up as much as I can, because as soon as you hit that first guy who's trying to set the edge, I tend to see that I can get past him pretty easily with a stiff arm. All right, now last play I was mentioning how they didn't stack the box and look to show the blitz. In this play, they are definitely doing that, and I love to see this, because what we're gonna get is an opportunity to find a hole in the offensive line and hope for a long run. It's either gonna be -1 or it could be potentially 20 plus. So what I'm gonna do here is show you another little cool trick that you can hesitate behind the offensive line by sort of backpedaling. If you just swipe to the right and you're kind of strafing backwards, it'll put him in a backpedal motion, and you can just literally do that nonstop until he's chopping his feet and he gets tackled. So you can just see what happens on this play. But I'm basically looking to just hold my spot behind the offensive line, get the defense to commit, and then find one little gap to where I can just sprint right through. So that's going to be the goal of this play. There you go. So everybody committed, they all crashed down at the same time, and the result is a breakaway touchdown. Beautiful, 45-yard run, setting up really well. So I'm gonna go for 2 here. And I do find that going for extra points and having a 2-point conversion on the ground actually works quite often. So that would be something I would recommend to test out as well. Okay, so I have no option to change the play here, so I'm just going to run and get to the top of the screen, hopefully stiff arm and break away some yardage. And I find that when you're tiptoeing along the sidelines like that, it can be pretty nice if you can find a groove in that spot. And so this is something that corner who's going to looking to set the edge. If I don't get there in time and get past his outside shoulder, the chances are he's going to stop me. So I have a very short, like 4th and 1 here. I'm just going to plow ahead, dive for it, and get the first. Never be afraid to just take the yards, especially when you need them. So again, I'm looking at a 8-man box. I'm going to get to the outside. I like the fact that the corner was way off, because it gives me a little bit more room to run. And hey, if I'm chipping away 5 yards a clip, I'll take that all day. And again, defense here showing blitz. I'm going to use that little hesitation move. and that time did not work very well. Actually, if I had just gone straight ahead, I think I had a hole, but I tried to get fancy. So here we go. I'm going to make my way up the top of the screen and picking up a first. And again, this is all about ground and pound in this game, not doing anything fancy with the pass at all. Strafing up and down the field here. You can see I just am literally swiping my finger up and down the screen towards basically between the numbers, right? If you're looking to juke to the right, you're strafing up. If you're looking to juke to the left, you're strafing down. If you're looking to backpedal, you strafe back basically backwards or swiping to the right. So that's it. I'm going to cut back. Even though the play was actually going to the opposite side of the field, I liked what I saw just intuitively and went for it. So I really should be more mindful of the clock right now. I should have stepped out of bounds there. I am not going to be doing anything but running, so better hope for a breakaway run here. All right, getting stopped here just short, and unfortunately that's going to be the half. You can see if I was mixing in passes with this on the pitch. I love the pitch because it does give you a good 3 or 4 yards sometimes before the defense even realizes that it's actually a run and not a pass. So here we go again, strafing up, and see how I'm just basically basing it on the defensive alignment. I'm either getting the outside as fast as I can and finding my way by kind of stiff arming everybody to get to the edge, or if they show blitz, then I'm going to take my shot to score, to just break off a long touchdown run potentially. See the blockers come through there. I love that. I don't know if this is a new update, but it seems like more receivers and linemen are willing to block, which is pretty fun. So here we go. I'm going to cut it back down to the bottom of the screen. Ooh, see, this is why I think that strength, go for it. Dive for the first. Doesn't matter. That guy was going to hit me. I picked up an extra yard just by diving for it. So this is going back to the attributes that, to value the most from per position. I think speed is obviously the most important regardless of what position. Running back, receiver, tight end, quarterback. I like speed on the field is always going to be key, especially on defense or your corners. It's going to be really important. So speed is number one, but for running backs, I like strength. See, look, I wouldn't be able to break those tackles if it wasn't for the strength of that running back. Dive for it, and then okay. So third quarter, 22 seconds left. I'm up 16-7, and so far have only been handing the ball off. And that's what we're going to continue to do here through the fourth quarter to close this game out. Well, they're going to keep it close, making it 16-14. We've got the lead. We just need a couple of first downs, and I think we got this game in the bag. All right, beautiful. We got a 1-by-2 set. When you're looking at the receivers, you start counting to the left, so you've got the bottom of the screen, 1 receiver, so 2 at the top, so 1-by-2. And I've got my single running back in the backfield. I mean, if I was passing, I would definitely consider a little dump off here, but I'm just going to hand it to him and let him get to the edge. See, now on that play, did not get a block from my corner or from my receiver, and honestly did not get much of a burst. I mean, my running back's probably wearing down at this point. Stamina definitely matters, and you can almost see that it doesn't appear that he's running as spry as he was at the beginning of the game. And right now, I'm just going to run for the first. I'm just going to dive to get first downs. Doesn't matter. I'm not trying to hit a home run here, swing for the fences, because a turnover could cost us the game. So just going to let the clock tick and break away as many runs as I can. One interesting thing here before the end of the game, they're giving me an opportunity for another home run. So I'm gonna go for it. Here we are. Boom. Breakaway. Okay, almost did. Had one guy to beat. You can see how this style of running, where you wait for them to make a mistake. You take what the defense is going to give you. There you go. If you take what the defense gives you and you focus on getting to the edge, picking up 5 yards at a clip. Oh, can I battle for it? No, but we get a 40-yard run there to end the game. And this shows you very clearly, like I said, if you stick with the strategy to chip away 4 or 5 yards, maybe a little bit more than that by getting to the edge. Anytime you see about 8 defenders in the box like that and they look like they're stacked, not showing blitz, what I see to be the best route is to get to the edge, either top of the screen or bottom of the screen. And then from there, as soon as they line up and they have everybody across sort of vertically up the screen like that. They're blitzing, and you want to just use a little hesitation in the backfield. Tends to be that you can see a guard towards the bottom of the screen. Usually are the stronger blockers in the run game anyway. And I like that this game sort of shows that too, because they typically will get up down the field. So they're pushing their guy out of the way. You can find the seam in the offensive line there and just go for it. So that's basically some insights, some tips, some tricks into how to run with your running back in Retro Bowl. Hope you found this useful. Now, one thing I want to do here is, before we wrap it up, I'm going to check out the box score, just see how many yards we piled up. All right, 242 yards. I'm going to give my tight end here some additional speed. The receiver is getting some too. The quarterback is back, so good time to get in there for this last game. And look at the stats. I mean, 29 attempts, 242 yards, 8.3 yards a carry, and 2 touchdowns. So he's adding that on top of a 11-game stretch with 80 attempts, where he's got 873 yards on a 10.9 yard per carry average and 10 touchdowns. So, I mean, if this guy was a fantasy running back, I would pick him in the very first top tier. And so, yeah, basically that's what we have here is our running backs and how to run in Retro Bowl, following these tips and tricks. Hopefully you guys see your run game take off and excel to the next level. Definitely leave some comments below if you like this kind of stuff. I've got a lot of Retro Bowl content coming up here because I'm totally into the game and want to share what my experiences have been like and hear from you as well. So leave some comments down below. What tips and tricks do you have for running? Do you rely on your running backs? How do you go about getting your running backs? Here's one thing I should mention earlier in the video. Personally, and this is something I'll put into probably a free agency or a draft valuation video, but I'm willing to draft a running back if he has some of the attributes like speed and strength that he can progress into. But I do find that paying up for a running back in free agency is just the way to go. I mean, there's a few positions like running back, quarterback. I mean, yeah, those two, maybe receiver in that mix, where you almost have to sign the player rather than draft because it's just too hard. So I would recommend paying up for a running back. Make the running game part of your offensive strategy, because if you can master a game and win against a good opponent where you literally hand off every single play, imagine what that can do when you can also combine that with your passing skills and an offense that features, maybe 2 receivers and 2 tight ends, where the blocks are there and their guys are getting open for catches. So that's what the running game can do to take your Retro Bowl skills to the next level. And in any football, flag football, tackle football, of course, especially, but even in flag football, the running game is important. The teams that run the ball tend to win, especially if there's blocking involved.